Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll be there with you in 5 minutes. We're all having a good week, guys. This is going to be a quick monologue. I'm not going to have anyone on tonight. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Like, I downloaded a camera app and I've even binned it in the trash. Maybe I should empty the trash. It keeps coming up this. If anybody knows how we get rid of that. Right. Hope you're all having a good week. It's been quite a good week on the flat earth side of things, I've got to say. There's been good and bad, as usual. I went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy this week. It was on Saturday, actually. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. And do you know what? I didn't feel like they were trying to convince me we're going to space. It was a good film. I highly recommend it. I was going to talk about Dell getting sniped for Tim Osman. And when I seen that happen, to be honest, it annoyed me. Because it just seemed like Tim Osman was doing it for attention. And like when he done it before, I kind of thought it was all right because he done it at the right time. He done it when Tim Osman was attacking Laurie Gale, or he done it when somebody was attacking some group or something like that. And I kind of see why he justified sniping the hangout. It was probably the best thing to happen to them. But tonight, when he done it to Dell, I've got to say I didn't agree with that. I don't, because that justifies flat earthers sniping globe hangouts now, and everyone's paranoid just to put the link in the chat. Obviously, it's stopping freedom of speech. That's stopping the freedom of speech. If people don't feel safe just to drop the link in the chat without someone sniping it, and it's an eye for an eye. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't help. So this Tim Osman sniping, it's got to stop. Google have got to fix this for both sides, for both globe and flat earth, and just for the general freedom of speech. Because like I said before, when he was doing it, it seemed justified, but nowadays it just seems like somewhere for him to talk to 200-300 people, because Tim knows there's 200 or 300 people watching Dell, and he thinks he can get his message out like that. And it's poor, because you go back to Tim's channel, no one subscribed, no one cares, nobody watches his videos, no one cares about Tim. As much as he's telling the truth, he doesn't know how to communicate to the normal person, the human being. Tim's missing that aspect of himself, the human aspect. And I just don't agree with what he's doing anymore. And if anything, he's actually helping the flat earth. He is helping the flat earth. Because now when you look in the chat in Dell's hangout, everyone's going crazy. Everyone's saying, look, they're trying to stop the truth. Look, if this wasn't the truth, this wouldn't happen. So they're in their minds, they feel like this must be the truth, because there's agents out there sniping down the hangouts for no reason. And fair enough, when you seen the Laurie thing, a lot of people in chat kind of agreed, went that was a bit too far, and even Dell deleted that whole hangout because he kind of knew it probably got out of hand, and he doesn't really want to remember that one. But tonight, guys, I've got to say that was a weaselly thing today by Tim Osman, just to get attention. And it's just for attention now, because we've heard his stuff, we've heard the whole list, the whole Word document from Tim. Because Tim doesn't show his face. And that way, you can't see what they're doing behind the screen. And Tim obviously sits there with a Word document up on his screen with all the reasons why the Earth's a globe. Like normal people that believe in the ball Earth can say it off the top of their head, especially when they've done their own experiments. I've never really seen Tim try and produce any videos that he's done to prove to himself the Earth's empirically a sphere, as much as he can learn off all of us. And I think he should go that direction instead of this sniping hangouts, sitting constantly for a guy that's apparently wealthy, came from a a good college, a good education, all this stuff. He's sitting on the hangouts constantly playing games. And I'm a student, so I've got the kind of leisure. I'm doing an animation right now. I've drew Martin's face nearly 200 times today for a 7-second sequence. So I sit and listen to the hangouts, look at the chat whilst I'm animating. And I'm a student, fair enough. And Timmy's got this thing against me. You're at college right now and you've got kids. So what if I've got kids? You're 30-year-old, Tim. You should think about having kids too. It's about that time. Do you know what I mean? So, Tim, I don't want to be associated. I know that I heard Infinite Plane Society, he had an 8-hour hangout, man. He sat for 8 hours on his Todd, talking for 8 hours. You're lucky if this hangout will last half an hour, guys, doing this monologue. But I heard Infinite Plane Society saying not many people go back once they learn about flat Earth. Tim Osman can't convince anyone. He can't. Oh, in fact, he convinced Jed, and that's where you're wrong. IPS or Infinite Plane Society. Tim never convinced me that Earth was a ball. I've always been a baller. Always. I doubted it for a long time. I questioned it. I jumped on the flat Earth bandwagon and went along with all the investigations. But the difference with me is I found that it was all bullshit, and everyone else just went along with it. So Tim never convinced me, and I was battling these sophists, as he likes to call them, or charlatans. I've been battling these people for ages and a long time without Tim's support. So you can get that out of your head, Infinite Plane Society. Stop kind of like putting me and Tim as some kind of couple, because I don't like it. Especially after tonight's escapades of Tim. I don't agree with that. So don't mention my name in the same breath as Tim Osman, because we're totally different people. The only thing we kind of agree on is the Earth's a sphere. That's it. But this sniping shit's got to stop people, and if there is a way to stop it, I'm willing to like support yous as well, the flat Earth as well, because we need freedom of speech on both sides. If we've not got that freedom just to drop the link in chat without feeling paranoid that some weirdo's going to come on and do something, what kind of communication is this, people? It's just paranoia and just creating echo chambers, because you're only going to give the link to people you know or spoke to before. You'll not take the lunge. There are ways to get around it, guys. You can use a broadcasting software like OBS. There's several different kinds. I think there's Wirecast. There's a couple of different kinds, and you can have a Google Hangout, but don't make the Google Hangout just put the link out to people and never start your broadcast. Never hit that start broadcast button. Just open your window up, invite people to the call, and then broadcast the call on your broadcaster, and you can put the URL into your broadcaster, and it goes right through YouTube. There are ways to do it, and this is to you as well, Dell. If you're listening, Dell, it's called OBS. It's a broadcaster, and you can broadcast your Hangout without making the call and still speak to people, but they can't snipe you. They can snipe your Google call, but you just open up another one. But the broadcast's still there. Your full broadcast will be there. But that's one thing I've kind of had to get off my chest. I wasn't happy with that. As funny as it is to a lot of people and the things like that, like I was seriously like listening this time. I was listening to Dell. I want to hear what he had to say about his escapades at the media, and he's got this right thing against ginger people, Dell, for some reason. It's pretty hilarious. He's like, he thinks ginger people came from another pond or something like that. That was pretty hilarious. If ginger people came from another pond, I tell you, they're evil. They're evil inside, these gingers. Imagine if you're saying that about black people or any other race. But it's cool to say it about the ginger guys, man. But I hold no hard feelings, because we're the rarest on the planet. I feel, if you want to feel special, I feel special. I've got that the RB gene? So talking about genes, I sent away for a DNA kit to ancestry.com. It comes tomorrow. I send my saliva back and it comes back and it tells me where my genes have been for like thousands of years. Well, it can go back 1,000 years, I think. So that'll be interesting to see if I am a Jew. People keep calling me a Jew. They're starting to get me thinking now. I'm like, am I a Jew? Anyway, that'll be pretty cool. It'll be pretty cool because my missus, she's expecting this week. We're expecting a new baby this week, so that'll be awesome. And it's just cool that you can tell your kids that where your bloodline lies, where it goes, how far back it goes. So, like I said, guys, it was a kind of mixed bag this week for Flat Earth. I had mixed emotions with Barbi McGill, hearing that Barbi McGill had quit her channel. She actually got a lot of abuse from Validation Boy. Validation Boy went on her channel and started abusing her. Like, there's no excuse to abuse people in general, especially women. If you're a man, I just don't condone that. That's shocking, mate. She'd be ashamed of yourself, Validation Boy. If I ever get to speak to you, you're going to hear what I really think of you, pal. I invited you to my last hangout. You were in the chat. I dropped the link and you ran away. And you'll get the same treatment as Pete Shea got. I went on Barbi McGill's hangout. It was called Clearing the Air. And I seen Pete Shea. He was kind of goading me. He was like, get Jed in. And Arwen was saying, no. Anyway, I went on Barbi McGill's chat, and people might be surprised that I just started. Well, at the end of the day, he called me a prick. I just says to him, why don't you just quit it? Why don't you just stop lying? Why do you not? And he called me he was the one that called me a prick first. And that was it. That gave me the opportunity to tell him what I really thought of him. And I've listened to Pete Shea for a while now. Anyone in the Flat Earth hangouts or anything like that, if you've listened to Pete Shea once, you've listened to him 100 times. He says the same thing. And I've seen people trying to speak to him, trying to convince Pete Shea, and he just speaks over them. He just talks over them. So I looked at Pete Shea and I thought, strategy. What's the strategy you use on these kind of people? And Pete Shea, they kind of people just need shouted down because they just speak over you. So that was the tactic I went in. I just shouted them down. He tried to change the subject to the moon landings, blah, blah, blah. I went, no, let's go back to what you're talking about. No one died on 9/11. And again, explain your reasons. And he was just full of shit. And I felt kind of bad for Barbi. But I've always looked out for Barbi kind of thing. I've never really said anything bad against Barbi, apart from she believes Flat Earth, because it's a lie. And the great thing is, although Barbi's went through all these these horrible things, the abuse she's got, it's made her realize the truth, guys. It's made her realize the truth. And she'll feel the truth when she comes back. Barbi's going to come back. And she'll feel it. She'll feel it, what it feels like to be on the opposite side. And how harsh Flat Earth is on you. And I've got to say, guys, there's lots of parallels with Nazism in Flat Earth, like it or not. And a lot of people will be sitting there going, no, there's not. But when you see Eric Dubé's latest video, and he's one of the top guys, let's not forget, he's on the Rogan show, and he's one of the top guys in Flat Earth. You can't forget this. And he is pushing he's anti-Semitic, put it that way. And he kind of thinks Hitler's a great guy and stuff like that. And guys, it's like it or not, if the top person says this stuff, it's like being in a group. If you're in a group and the leader starts saying something like, we're going to start doing this, if you're a member of that group, you could say, no, I don't stand for that. But if that leader says that, the overall group gets classed as that, whether you like it or not. It's up to you as a smaller member of that group to get to the top and dethrone the guy then you can change the ideology of the group. Because I think the best way that Flat Earth can go for survival, because Flat Earth ain't going to survive pushing this nonsense. The only way Flat Earth can really survive is sticking to a more religious aspect. If Flat Earth kind of made it into some kind of religious belief, the governments and people would just say, well, they need their religious freedom. But when it starts sounding like the way these people are making it sound, and I know Flat Earthers aren't like this. I know most Flat Earthers aren't anti-Semitic. I know most Flat Earthers aren't vegans. I know most Flat Earthers aren't this and that. But when the top people start saying these things, and you just look at the comments and it's all likes and everyone's supportive of them, well, the overall look of the movement is going to look bad. And Martin was right. Martin Leakey, he was right. He was right to be kind of shocked by it. But as soon as he goes on Dells, he melts. And that's the problem. People just melt. That's another thing. I don't agree with people harassing Dell just because he's a flat earther. Fair enough. He's a bit, the way he puts his message across, it comes across as and he fires people up. That's the thing. He might be saying he's not got any intent on any harm on anyone, and I believe him. But because of his rallying cry, he's almost Braveheart-like cry to fight these people, to fight the opposite end, the liars, the deceivers. It's almost like fighting talk. So even if his intentions aren't to cause harm or cause chaos or anarchy or whatever it is, unknowingly, he's creating it within the group. So it's whether Dell likes it or not, he needs to get to the top. He needs to get rid of Eric Dubé if he wants this thing to survive. Because people like Patricia Steere and even your Nathan Oakleys and that, they're harmless enough. Bob, journalism, harmless enough. They don't seem a threat. They just seem a bit wacko. And when you look over at Dells, it comes across as harmless enough. But when the rallying cries starting, the activism, the action, certain trigger words that go into people's head, and people can't always make videos about Flat Earth or always. So people might think another way to contribute to Flat Earth is to dox or to harass the other side. Let's not make proof videos. Let's not do anything else. Let's just attack the other side, and that's our contribution. And it shouldn't be like this. But it's turning out like that because look at Barbie and look at the way she's been treated, and it's a disgrace. And Patricia Steers in the chat saying, "Oh, so validation boy only went in to hurt you, went in to help you." Bullshit. Validation boy's got a bee in his bonnet because certain people talk to me. Barbi McGill sat on Validation's boy channel and defended me the whole time. And this is what's wrong with VB. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get why certain people like me rather than him. That's how much ego this guy's got. And same with Tim Osman. He calls me egotistical. It's like the guy's got the most ego than the whole of Flat Earth combined, and Globers. He's got so much ego, he thinks he doesn't even have to show his face. And people should just take his word for it. People should just take his word for it, even though he doesn't have his real name, his real face, anything. But he's on this mighty mission to tell the truth behind a mask, behind a false name. How's that spreading truth? Even if you are telling the truth, who's going to listen to it from behind a mask, behind a false identity? I don't trust people I can't see. And that gives you a safety net. That gives you that safeness because you're not getting judged by how you're acting or looking or moving behind the camera. And and it gives you the option to put up a Word document on your screen. Like, I seen you debating Dell privately, and supposedly you were meant to have this private hangout with Dell, and you weren't meant to show anybody. And do you know what? Because you weren't getting enough attention again, you showed it. Like I said, I don't agree with Dell, and me and Dell don't see eye to eye with a lot of things. But when it comes to being like a proper man and keeping your word and honor, you're obviously lacking it, Tim. It's pathetic. The things you do just for some attention. And the attention you generate isn't that big. It isn't even worth it. It's not like you're doing this and you're getting thousands and thousands of views or hits or anyone's even listening. You're doing it for yourself, and it's pathetic. You're the one that was telling me, Tim, to lay off Dell because you thought he was damaged, or he actually believes this and there's just something wrong with him. And I was like, fair enough. But you continue to attack. So I don't know what your game is, Tim. Are you helping the flat earth? Is this what you're trying to do? Help the flat earth? You drawing attention to flat earth? Because I don't see you helping anyone go back to the globe. It was beautiful. It was beautiful and disturbing at the same time listening to, because Glenn, Vancouver, BC, he captured some of the video, and brilliant. It was like, I couldn't have heard it anywhere else if Glenn never recorded it. So it was good to hear Glenn's reaction as well. You can still hear him talking about it. It was brilliant. But at the same time, it was disturbing to hear Barbi like that. But it was amazing to hear Laurie and Barbi talking like they've both woken up to the truth. And it's like, they both realise it's not flat earth. It ain't flat earth. They can maybe still doubt all this NASA stuff and things like that, but they know deep inside their hearts it is not flat earth. The world ain't flat, and it's hit them, and it's hit Barbi like a ton of bricks, and it's hit Laurie, because these people have consciences. They didn't want to be sitting on YouTube lying. They didn't want to look back and say to their kids, look what I was talking about a year ago, lying to everybody, lying to the world. They'll feel ashamed a wee bit, and it's not their fault. They got caught up in this psyop. It's not their fault. But it's a beautiful thing to see two people waking up and snapping into that flat earth, because it's hard. And it's just brilliant to see in Glenn as well. And there's so many people now just either just falling out of flat earth or waking up to the globe. It's great. It's great to see, guys. But I hope to see Barbi back. And I apologise for how I acted on Barbi's hangout, but it wasn't directed at her. It was all directed at Pete Shea. It was strategic as well. I deliberately went in with that kind of angle, because I know Pete Shea and I've heard him so many times, and if I was just to sit and listen, I'd be sitting there for half an hour listening to him, and you forget your train of thought, and he's one of these guys that just go on and on. So I apologise to Barbi for how I acted, but people like Pete Shea, who are so confident, they're so confident to tell these lies. It's like, it's fair enough if you're just making assumptions and going, well, it's just my opinion, but Pete Shea's telling you that this is the truth, and you're a liar, and you're an idiot, and you're this, and you're that. He's not just telling you his opinion, or he's thinking, he's telling you, and everything's fake to Pete Shea. Just an old, and if you see him in a hangout, and if you see him again, if the people didn't learn from the first time I let him know, just stop tuning in, because he'll take over all the conversations. Arwen threatening to slap Barbi. This is what I'm saying. This is the mindset of people. Threatening to slap Barbi. And even if it was just the way he used his words, you don't speak to people like that. And just like Tim, you don't snipe hangouts for just for attention, just for yourself. It doesn't make us look good either. And I'm tied, like that Infinite Plane Society guys mentioning me with you. It's like we're a couple, and I didn't like it. I don't like the thought of that, Tim. I like the thought of me standing on my own not with Tim by my side. There's something just disturbs me about that, especially with somebody that's not got a face. Like I said, like these people, if the news came on and the guy was wearing a balaclava and said, right, I'm Mr. Anonymous or Mr. Mystery, I'm Mystery, Ken, whoever, this is the news. Are you going to believe that shit? This is why I come on camera. This is me. I'm real. You can read my body language. You can look at my eye movements. I don't sit in the dark because everything I say, I wouldn't come on unless I know I was saying the truth. I'm not coming on with a script like Tim does. He's got his Word document on the screen with Dell. He's got all his reasons sitting there. I don't have to sit with that. I've done it all. I've done all that shit. I don't have to sit with a Word document. And you're just sounding repetitive now, Tim. You're sounding like how Flat Earthers, you sound how Dell sounds, but for the ball Earth. And like I said, I've not seen you doing any star trail photography, lunar eclipse videos, phase of the moon videos. I've done all that shit. I've not seen you doing any shit, Tim. So really, you're arguing for just a belief, not knowledge. So until you gain knowledge, Tim, then you can have a proper argument. That's why I went out and done these things, because I couldn't argue with people without the proper knowledge, not just the belief. Anyway, like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy, awesome film, guys. Check it out. Validation Boy, if you ever get a chance, or I ever get a chance to go on a hangout with you, mate, please, actually, my next hangout, you'll get a special invite. And I might even invite Barbi along. She might have a few things to say to you as well, VB. Because people like you deserved to get highlighted and shown up for what you are. Just a little prat. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff to look at, guys. Like if you're still doubting that the Earth's a sphere, right? If you like, I've noticed lately my internet and electrical stuff. I don't know if it's this recent CME or, but look into sunspots. Even sunspots, like sunspots go different directions on the sun depending on what hemisphere you're in. When a CMA goes off, it takes a couple of days to get here. If the sun was close, it'd be instant. We'd be fried. The Northern Lights, guys, looking at the Northern and Southern Lights, because of these CMEs, that's how these lights are created. And these things can't work on a flat Earth. So that's just another couple of things to look at. Like I said, you can look at the star trails, you can look at the moon phases, you can look at sunsets. Actually, get yourself a pair of welder's goggles to look at the sunsets. Then you'll see the true disk of the sun. Anyway, guys, like I said, I don't agree with Tim's sniping, and I hope this bug thing gets fixed quick. People just can't drop a link, and even if a weirdo comes on, you can just kick them off. But if they can just take over your hangout and take over your, and for his reasons, it's just for attention. He just wants attention. And he could be anyone. He's sitting there saying he's rich, he's this and that. He could be poor. He says he's good at graphic design. I've seen him doing Photoshop plenty of times, making these stupid memes. And because I'm on a computer arts course right now, I've had to sit and watch lots of tutorials and from people who are experts. And Tim isn't an expert. Tim is basic Photoshop skills. So somebody that knows graphic design, knows this, knows that, is on a basic level. Anyway, guys, like I said, I hope you all have a good week. I'm expecting a new family member this week. If it's a wee boy, we're going to call him Lewis. If it's a wee girl, we're going to call her Alexis, we think. We've kind of got these, it's so annoying when you're trying to pick names, guys. Because now, when you think of a name, a Facebook picture pops up in your head. It's like, nah, didn't call him that. Because you see there's so many of these guys, maybe called Scott or something like that, or Teapot. Again, like, now you can associate names with faces, and it's horrible. Like before, you would just think of a name, but it's weird with Facebook and all that. Now, when you think of a name, you get an image instantly in your head of a certain selfie. So I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing this DNA test, guys. I might actually do a little video, me doing my DNA saliva test, sending it away, getting the results back, talking to you guys about it. That should be quite exciting, something different. And check out Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, I've said my piece. It wasn't going to be a long show. Hope you're all having a good week, and keep looking for the truth, guys. You'll not find it at Earth Discussions. I've been over there a few times. I was listening to Ali B over there making a fool of himself again. And he gets that way as well. He turns into Pete Shea mode. I think he gets a few drinks and he just starts rambling and rambling. But that's the thing, guys. That's what I've realised with Earth Discussions. These people sit there, and when there's not anything like flat Earth they can ridicule, they start ridiculing each other. And do you know what? I was listening last night, and those guys over at Ed channel, Earth Discussions, one guy was saying, "Oh, I was looking for Farscape, and I couldn't find a download for it. It's so rare, man. This Farscape episode is so rare." And then the other guy was like, I think it was like maybe, I don't know if it was curved but it's these usual faces. And he was like, "I've just downloaded it in 10 seconds." They just started ridiculing the guy because they could find something on the internet. And then somebody said in chat something about a Furby, and they were all puzzled. They're like, "What's a Furby?" It's like, oh my God. So who are they going to convince? Do you think flat earthers are going to go over to Earth Discussions and be convinced? Listen to these twats. I heard that ad blocker guy said he would only F things that are cute. I don't want to really swear tonight, but F. He would only F things that are cute. And I just thought that's a disturbing thing to say. Then he started talking about furries and all this. This is on Earth Discussions. So it's like, who are they going to convince? Any flat earther goes near them, they don't speak a language that normal laymen understand. And the flat earthers are just lying. So where's the middleman? Where's the layman guy going to find proper information? Do you know what I mean? And this is what I was trying to do. It's a bit like I know this seems like a bit of a far out analogy, but it's like a bit like the King James Bible. It's like there's a reason why the King James Bible is so successful. It's the way it's put together. It's the way it's worded. It's people can understand it better. It's broken down for the common man, but it's still the truth. It still doesn't sway from the truth. And I kind of see the King James Bible as that, like, if anybody wanted to find Christianity and read it properly and read it how it was supposed to be read for the common man, the King James is kind of that Bible. And I'm looking for that King James within this whole movement. I'm looking for that middle ground, that place where people speak eloquently, articulated, but not too complex to the point where you have to go away and search what the hell they're talking about. Although these people are highly intelligent, I don't think they've lived much of a life. I don't think they've fought in the trenches in life. I'd be surprised if any of them even have kids, to be honest with you. But these are the kind of people over Earth Discussions, and then you've got the fanatical flat earthers. So it's hard, guys. It's hard to find what you're looking for when it comes to globe truth. And to me, Tim Osman's just repeating the same shit that you hear over at Ed place. He was trying to actually get me to bring on a couple of these kind of guys, and like I've seen Sly Sparkane in there, and to me, he's another, like, he doesn't speak to the common man. He tries to intellectually one up everyone, and so does Tim. And Tim's he soaks up ideas off of us. He listens to us and he uses it as well and passes it off as his own. I listened to Jeremy's the other night there, and I was looking forward to it. Like, yes, Jeremy's coming on, and I like Jeremy. And to be honest, Jeremy's refreshing. He talks about different stuff, and I quite like listening to Jeremy, and then Tim comes on and he just starts repeating the star rotations and the logic and the empirical, and it's just the same thing over and over. I'm just getting bored of it, guys. I'm just getting bored. So this new baby coming along, my time is going to be kind of taken up, but I'll still be around, and I just hope everyone has a good week. Take care. See you later.